I went to high school with Diana Taurasi, who some say is the greatest female player of all time, one of the greatest, right? And she's a year older than me, so I got to high school. It's a place called Don Lugo High School in Chino, and I was coming in as a freshman, just trying to make the team like summer, and she was already she'd been there for a year, so she's already established. Everyone knew who she was, and I'd heard about her. I'm like,
oh, you tried out for the basketball team?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I played the first year. I played freshman year. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But the whole thing was, I thought that because she was a girl, that there was no way she was as good as me, right? So I just casually mentioned we should play one-on-one to her. Like, I think maybe it's the only time I ever spoke to her, really. And she's like, yeah, sure. And when I tell you that.
What's up, guys? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho, and we are the 6-time international award-winning pop hip-hop music duo Band of Future. We make clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that is uniquely Californian. And right now, you are tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and ridiculous. But before we get started, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and make sure you share this video with somebody who may have challenged another person or entity, and they got shut down because they weren't ready for what was about to come to them. All right, so Zap, do you have an example of that? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so
talking to the third person already. I see how it.
This is a video that I found on social media. It made me laugh. And it's high school. I don't know if it's junior. They look kind of young. Maybe it's junior high, maybe high school. I don't know. But this player challenged his coach, and it didn't go the way he thought it would.
This coach was having a good day teaching his players when one was bold enough to challenge him to a one-on-one, and this happened. Do you think he would try this again?
So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, coach wasn't messing around. I thought he'd get past him, but I didn't know he was going to break the kid's ankles. That was cold. So I brought this up, and then if you have an instance, you can share it too. But I'm thinking of like the times when either you challenged someone or you saw someone else challenge someone, and they thought they had it, and it just didn't go right at all for them. Because I brought up this video because it reminded me, and I think that's junior high. It looked like junior high, not high school. It reminded me of the same thing that happened in my junior high school. Okay. So my school was a magnet school. I don't know if they have magnet schools out here in California? Okay. Yeah. So we had like people from all over. It wasn't just like people in the neighborhood. And it was a performing arts school. And we didn't have sports. So we didn't have a football team, basketball team, anything like that. So what they did is like people from our school could play sports at like different schools, which is kind of cool now that I think about it. But so we had different players from different schools that went to our school, right? And so I knew like a couple of guys that were just like really good, like insanely. They had handles. I'm talking about basketball. They could shoot. Like they could do everything. I remember this one guy, especially named Ricky, who was just like, he was like the coolest dude, bro. Just, but not like a I'm better than you jock kind of. He was just a cool dude. He walked cool. He talked cool. He was cool with everybody. Like, and he's just amazing basketball player. And we had some other like girls. There was a girl who was like 6 feet tall, and she was just like, just amazing. Like we had amazing players, right? Mm-hmm. And we had these 3 PE coaches. Now they're all different. So there's one guy, Coach Moore. He was super tall, but he was like 100 years old. I swear, this guy.
Nice.
This guy was like past your prime, but he was skinny, maybe in shape, but like super skinny. But at least 60s, 70s, maybe.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
all
sure.
gray hair, just like okay. He didn't seem like anybody.
Mhm.
And then we had this lady, this white lady who looked like, what's the girl from Iowa? Is that it?
The basketball player?
Yeah, the girl who's like really big now.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, she kind of looked like an older version of her, and she like just had a baby, like. So they challenged the students. This is junior high school to like a basketball game. It was like the three, and then they probably like roped in two more teachers, and like so it's like this really tall old dude can barely move. This really short dude looked like Sherman Hemsley, and this lady who just had a baby, and like two teachers. I'm just like, we were all like, okay, students are gonna whoop, we're gonna kill these people. Like, get an ambulance ready, and just, man.
I'm guessing the opposite of what you expected to happen happened.
When I tell you they tore us up, they just annihilated us, dude. So like the short dude and the lady, they were like faster than what we all believed we ever seen them move. I mean, the dude was just like Chris Paul out there, just.
Nice.
And then the old guy, he would just stand on the 3-point line and just blitz you, just Ray Allen, just. And it was just like we got annihilated. So that video just reminded me of that experience. But I don't know if you had any experiences like that where you saw something happen, or maybe you tried something and it just
not so much publicly, but if it had been the social media era, then maybe that would have been, on all the reels and whatever. But I brought this up in one podcast before, but I went to high school with Diana Taurasi, who some say is the greatest female player of all time. One of the greatest, right? And she's a year older than me, so I got to high school. It's a place called Don Lugo High School in Chino. And I was coming in as a freshman, just trying to make the team like summer. And she was already she'd been there for a year, so she's already established. Everyone knew who she was. And I'd heard about her. I'm like,
oh, you tried out for the basketball team?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I played the first year. I played freshman year. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But the whole thing was, I thought that because she was a girl, that there was no way she was as good as me, right? So I just casually mentioned we should play one-on-one to her. Like, I think maybe it's the only time I ever spoke to her, really. And she's like, yeah, sure. And when I tell you that I didn't make we maybe played 5. And so if it had been like that, with like a bunch of people in the circle going, oh my God, then it would have been terrible. But it was just us and maybe like a couple of people watching. And they didn't even pay attention because they're like, this dude's they're talking about me. Like, he's about to get destroyed. So I didn't know that she was that good. And it's like, when I tell you, I felt like I was standing in quicksand, how fast she was. And she just would hit me with a pump fake and then just go around me. And I'm looking like, this is crazy. I've never played against anyone this good. And then she hit like a fall away, like Steph Curry, 30-footer just because she could. And I was like, that's not fair. And I didn't know that. Anyway, that was kind of humbling. But there weren't many witnesses. So it wasn't like that video. But yeah, nowadays it would have been one of those oh my God, but I mean, she's amazing. So I'm not surprising. And I think the only other thing I can think of like that is, and it's more specific like that. Someone older, I could take them, right? Is one time I decided it'd be a great idea to arm wrestle my mother. Now I was maybe 9, 10. So I was getting a little buff. I felt the muscles coming. I was like, yo, guess what, Mom? It's time. It's my time now. I'm on the come up. And I don't think I've had a more humbling experience in my life than that. then my mom, who's not a big lady, but she's pretty strong. I saw her the other day carrying, like she's strong. And when I tell you that, like, I thought my arm was snapped in half, man. Like she didn't say, "Oh, my son," I mean, she just got, and that was it, right on the counter, right on. And I just walked away in shame. That was it. So that's probably the two experiences I've had like that. I've seen videos like that, and I've probably been a witness to some, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But it's always like, yeah, I'm gonna. This is. You get some kind of a boldness in you, like, you know what, it's time to go for it. And if it works out, good for you. But more often than not, it ends up like that.
Yeah. The last thing that just reminded me of is I don't know if you ever like were in fights or anything in school, but I was very quiet and very like unassuming, but I was also a very large person. Like I've always been a very large person. So like no one is like tried to fight me. I won't say that. There's been a couple of people who tried and it did not end well for them. So it's like I'm just, even if I didn't know how to fight, I'm just too big.
Yeah.
And I remember there's like this one guy who was like messing with me in school or something. I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. And then he like, we were in class, and then I think there was like maybe 3-4 rows of desk. So he was like behind me. So I think he like pushed me or something. When I finally decided to push him, like he pushed me, and it was just like, okay, bro. When I finally pushed him back,
I feel like he got laid out. That's what I feel
this
like.
dude went flying like 4 rows back. It was like everybody was just shocked. It was just like I did like some kind of Naruto like whoosh on this dude because he went flying. And yeah, that was the end of that for sure. But yeah, so I've seen it go both ways. So if you have a story like that, something that happened in your lifetime where you saw somebody try to do something and didn't work out, or you tried to do something and it didn't work out, let us know in the comments, and so we can all have a laugh.
Sharing laughter.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be okay sharing it because it'll just be between us. It won't go to your boss or anything.
No.
Yeah. You'll be okay at work because we want you to keep your job.
We do.
We want you to keep your job.
Yes, we do.
Because if you do something like this, try something at your job and it doesn't work out.
Challenge the boss. Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend.
They might take it. They might take your job. It didn't work out for you. You're fired. Oh.
They took our jobs. They took our jobs. Take our